Welcome to the Local Vibe podcast, unscripted, it's uncensored, the real deal straight up music talk. Please like and subscribe on YouTube and Facebook. This is dedicated to the local musicians of Denver, Colorado. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the show.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another live episode of the Local Vibe Music Podcast. I appreciate everybody that's dialed in and checking out the episode here. Man, I tell you what, episode number 8, and thank you very much for everybody who's liking and subscribing and supporting this channel. We're going to continue to bring you some great interviews with local musicians, artists from up and down the Front Range and from various areas as well. And today, I have a very, very special guest that we're dialing in via mobile. I'm actually traveling this week. I'm in St. Louis, but the Local Vibe, we're not going to skip a beat, and we're going to continue to bring you some great performances. So I have a very special guest in the house tonight. So once again, thank you guys. Make sure you hit the pages and follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe on YouTube. That's going to really help us out tremendously. All right. So I appreciate it, guys. And again, Happy New Year. I know I said this, that this month is going by quick. So appreciate it, guys. All right. I want to introduce my guest here. And with me here on the right-hand side, I have Mr. Jake Gill. And Jake, I'll let you kind of introduce yourself a little bit, and we'll be talking a little bit more and get into the interview questions of the podcast.
Oh, perfect. Eddie, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to being a guest here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So Jake, tell the audience a little bit about kind of where you're dialing in this evening as well.
Yep. So born in Western Kansas, around in Meade, and then moved to Central Kansas. Grew up in Central Kansas, and still have a place here. Travel all over the country now, and playing country music and meeting people, and it's a passion. And so it's no longer work; it's what I do, and I enjoy every opportunity to.
That's awesome, man. That is
really
awesome.
What it's
Yeah.
become. Yeah.
No, I tell you, that's that's the dream of a lot of local musicians, right? Is to be able to one day just be able to do it full time. I think you can see a lot of the folks that I've interviewed and that are going to continue to interview. A lot of times we're working and we're playing music. It's definitely a passion for everybody in the music side. So it's definitely a big celebration to be able to do that full time. So congratulations to you, Jake, if you're doing that full time, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's talk a little bit about, some of your background. There's always a few questions that I love to ask my guests as they come onto the Local Vibe. And one of those questions that I always like to start with is kind of, tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into music and where you're at today with, with your music.
Yeah. So my background, I'd have to start all the way back when I was just tiny. My dad was a vocal, and that's not true. I think in the beginning he was just a band instructor at a little high school in Kismet, Kansas, Southwestern Heights. And so I've got some. I don't know if it's video, but I definitely have some photographs because I don't think they had video cameras back then. And if they did, It was like old 8mm things. But definitely some photos of me standing on my mom's lap at my dad's high school instrumental concerts. So that was, I think, probably in the womb. I heard music all the time because that was my dad's passion. Not country music, but rock and jazz, the things that band instructors are kind of into at the time. And then from there, it just formulated. Music was always there. My dad went to work for oil companies so that my mom could stay home and take care of the kids. Teachers' salaries just weren't enough to do that. They're probably still not. I don't know. I don't
Right.
run that circle. But music was always there. Dad took over the choir at church. And so at a very early age, sang in the choir at church, learned fifth grade band. I don't think we had actually. Maybe we did do recorders in fifth grade. I'm not for sure, but very quickly adapted and evolved into band in school. Was heavy into sports and really kind of did a little tinkering with guitar in high school. Really, not until college did I start playing guitar. And you do it in the beginning as a hobby, and you also find that it's therapeutic and it's stress reliever. So yeah,
Yes.
That's kind of where it all evolved from.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. I tell you what, and that's the thing, that's, right away we have that in common. I started in a church band when I was about, 10 years old playing drums. That's kind of the first instrument that I ever picked up. And then slowly kind of progressed to guitar, and I also play keys and, some bass, that kind of stuff. But it's amazing that that's one thing that a lot of musicians have in common. They start in choir or they start in church and stuff like that. And that begins to kind of create the foundation, right, of wanting to play music. And again, that's another question that I always, ask the artists that are coming on to the podcast. Like, hey, what kind of advice could you give to people, especially in your career and the things that you have done? What kind of advice could you give to people that maybe there's that one person out there who's thinking about starting to pick up an instrument or starting to sing or whatever it may be, maybe form a band, right? Jake, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what would you say to that one or two people that are out there thinking about that?
Well, number one, don't put it off. The earlier, the better.
Yeah.
And try a ton of different things, because what may work for you doesn't always work for your buddy, or what works for your buddy doesn't always work for you. But you'll for me it was just learning bass guitar and playing with the worship band for a little while before I even knew any chord structures on an acoustic guitar. But I had that vocal background at a very, very early age. And the influence of your parents, like for me, my grandpa, who really vocally couldn't carry a tune in the bucket, but he loved country music, and he could whistle on key. And
Ah,
that was instrumental for me. I've put that into a lot of my original music. But you and I have that common demeanor of go after what you want to do, like and be passionate about it. I was just talking with somebody this week, and we compared the word want. People use that word in so many different contexts. They can say, "Oh, I want a new pair of jeans, or I want a new car, or I want new boots, or I want a new guitar." Then you have people that say, "I want to be that." I in the level of want is something, as we get older, wiser, more mature. I don't know what it is, but there seems to be a lack of self-discipline in the world. It's probably always been there. Our grandparents and our parents probably said it about us, but to have a passion for something and to go after it, that's the key.
yeah,
If you are passionate about it, it's going to happen. It's going to
sure,
happen.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
you're
that's for
absolutely
me.
right.
That if anybody's thinking about getting started in music, just get started. Like just get started. Don't put it off,
Yeah,
because
do
you
it.
just never know what's going to happen.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's some definitely some great words. Yeah, I always said that hey, there's two kinds of people, right? The people that are say they're going to do something, and the people that do it. And I'm absolutely for that, man. Just do it. Get out there. Don't be scared. It's a learning for everybody. Everybody's got to learn at some point. Even the greatest musicians, right, start from somewhere. And you're absolutely right. Just if it's on your mind, if you feel that you have that passion to do it, do it. Find a neighbor, find a friend, somebody who's got a. And you also hear a lot of these stories, like with people that play guitars. Well, I bought this cheap guitar, and that was my first one. Hey,
Yep.
absolutely, everybody's got to start somewhere, and
Yeah.
as you progress, you start to invest a little bit more into your skill, into your talent. So yeah, no, that's awesome, Jake. Thank you. All right, awesome. Well, Jake, let's talk a little bit about some of your social media platforms. What I'm going to do here is, if you can kind of tell folks a little bit about your Facebook. I'm going to scroll to that here, and you can kind of walk me through it. Let me see if I can bring that up here real quick. All right. And yeah, so tell us a little bit about your Facebook page and what you got on here with your social media.
You know, I feel like Facebook is just now catching up. I kind of blew up on TikTok about 4 years ago, and then all of a sudden TikTok changed. It went from a platform that was paying you for your music, and now they want you to sell stuff. And so now Meta seems to be really where if there's an income revenue from music for me, it seems to be coming from Instagram and Facebook. And so we
Okay.
use I use Facebook to, I mean, not only to promote shows, but one of the things that I've really found, and I heard this from gosh, I believe it was Gary V, and he was talking about just kind of cracking the algorithm of Facebook and Meta. And one of the things that we discovered together was if you interact with other people, either via the hashtag you want to use or the topic that you're in, your location and your placement in the algorithm goes up. And we have noticed this in our concerts. So not every venue, as you know, Eddie, is really good on social media. And so what we have found is if we go to that venue's page and we go through and I'll look at comments, anybody that comments on one of their posts, I try to interact with via the comments. Sometimes I'll actually go to their page and if I see a post that I like, or I'll comment on one of their posts. I've been more intentional doing that, and we have seen attendance go up. And for me, first time attenders are just as important as repeat attenders at shows. You can sell merchandise, but if you there's a lot of ways you can build your following playing the same venues over and over, but you're going to have to put out new music. You're going to have to keep them there and re-engage with them in a different way. I've talked about if Garth Brooks played the same bar every night for the rest of his life, eventually no one would show up. They've seen it all, they've heard it all. So getting new people to come out to your shows is crucial. It's good for you. It's also good for the venue. So we've really been using Facebook for that. It's very easy to interact with people on that because you can go to those specific venues pages and you can interact with them directly. And that's probably been the biggest thing for me, besides the income revenue streams of Meta that we found. And you can do it on other platforms. It's just not as easy as it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice too, right? For anybody, for upcomers and here at the Local Vibe, it's all about sharing experiences and networking and sharing the knowledge. So that's some great insight for sure, Jake. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, and then I also noticed, well, as I was looking at your profile, you have quite a busy profile, my friend here, but you also have some music on Spotify. Let me go to that screen as well, and maybe you can kind of talk to us a little bit about your Spotify. So I'm going to bring that up, and hopefully I picked up the right one here. So let's see, Jake Gill, this is your Spotify, and so kind of walk us through a little
That
bit.
is.
There's quite a few songs there, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I've got seven albums total. I don't spend a lot of time on Spotify. I know that some people and some artists do. They really cut revenue quite a bit about 7, 8 years ago, and it kind of just I don't know, just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't appreciate that. When John Marks moved from Sirius XM to Spotify, things just kind of changed, and it really became label orientated, and that's great. But not everybody's going to get a major label deal, and some people have used Spotify effectively. I never spent the time to learn to get to know how to use that, and so I have it on there because I know a lot of people listen to Spotify. Most of our streaming and most of our income revenue comes from other sources. So it's out there. You put it out because your publisher can put it on, iTunes and different things like that
Yep.
for us. But social media has been big for me.
Okay. Okay. All
Yeah.
right, awesome. Yeah, and then so a few of these songs that you have out here. So I'm looking at like "Sun's Out," "Guns Out," "I See Jesus in a Bar." Can you kind of walk us through? Are these from just
Yeah,
various
let's
different
let's talk
albums?
about the first two. Yeah, let's
Okay.
talk about a couple of those.
Yeah.
Both representative of of intentional songs. Let's go back to I See Jesus in a Bar first. My dad was just retired from being a minister, so I grew up around big church kid. Grew up in churches all the time, and maybe my country music career frowned upon a little bit in the religious communities because we're playing in bars and clubs and casinos. But I also saw a lot of good in those organizations, those venues, those clubs, those bars. We still meet a lot of people with incredible hearts, donating money to causes that we support, raising money for their community, and it inspired that song, I See Jesus in a Bar. There's just, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord with all my heart, and I see the goodness in the entire world. No matter where I'm at, I just see it. If you're looking for bad, you're going to find bad. If you're looking for good, you're going to find good. And the thing about this song, I See Jesus in a Bar, is that it was a chance for me to really say thank you to a lot of the venues that bring us in, and to give them some recognition for what they do in their communities. If you don't know how hard it is as a venue, a bar, a club, whatever, to stay open, to keep your doors open today. I just read a stat the other day, alcohol consumption is down among the younger demographics. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, well, that's probably great from a health standpoint. Economics wise, how's that going to affect me? Well, you have to think about those things. And so we play these venues, and we don't know the sacrifice that they are passionate about their community. For a lot of places, it's the only place that a person can go and still feel welcome, or have a meal on Thanksgiving Day because it's the only place that's open. I mean, even Denny's is open this year. So that song for me was not only important for me to get the message out that, hey, there's goodness in the world everywhere. It was also a thank you to these venues that support me and my band and give back in their communities, and sometimes more than a church does in their own town. So that's where that song came from, and that's an example of just writing a song with the intent of saying thank you, bringing attention to the goodness in the world. Now we flip and we go to a song like Sun's Out, Guns Out. And that song I wrote intentionally for a summer anthem. And it turned out great. And Eddie, I tell you what, I didn't capitalize on this early enough, but about halfway through the summer I thought, wait a minute, what am I doing? Sun's Out, Guns Out. We need to be making videos with this song. So we have a great photographer that travels with us. She bless her heart, she donates her time. I'm gonna give her a shout out, Karen. She works hard for us. I buy her dinner every now and then.
Nice, thank you, Karen. All right.
She enjoys what she does, and she's building her own career, and so it's good for her to kind of be around. But about halfway through the summer, this was so just absent-minded of me. We started going around to the crowd. We introduced the song, and we said, okay, we want you to give your biggest flex. And so we got people flexing to this song as we're playing it. We put these videos out. People tag each other in it. It was great marketing. It was just halfway through the summer too late. And so now winter is here, and everybody's wearing long sleeves, and so we'll probably bring it around. But another example of writing a song with intention that I wrote as a summer anthem. It's fun. The name gets attention. We get people all the time hashtagging Suns Out, Buns Out because they want to make it a little dirtier version.
Nice, right?
So we have some fun with it. So when we're looking at my Spotify, there's a good mix of songs that are just fun and lighthearted, but they're almost always with an intent. Of something behind it. And so that's what I think is the cool thing that I enjoy about music and listening to other people's songs is like, sometimes I'm like, I wonder what this song's really about or why they released this song.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a fun side note. But if you're writing songs, sometimes you just pick up a guitar and you're writing lyrics. Sometimes you're writing from your heart. Sometimes you're writing it inspired by what you want the song to be, and if it has a purpose. So I like that part about songwriting. And sometimes when you're just pumping out songs because you've got a publisher and you're trying to meet a deadline, you miss that aspect. And then every now and then you get a couple of good ones.
Sure, sure. Okay, well, I tell you what, let me do this. Let me play Suns Out, Guns Out real quick so some of the audience can kind of hear that. I kind of showed you a little bit on Spotify where you could find that. You can also find it on Apple Music and various,
Sure.
all the digital platforms. But let me play a little bit of this song real quick and let me know if you can hear the audio here. You getting that, Jake?
I'm not.
Okay. Let me go to the other screen here and play this here real quick. All right, here we go. Well, let's see. Spotify does not want to work for me today for whatever reason. Let's see here. Let's go down here. I try refreshing it here and see if I can get some sound here.
Cool.
There we go.
No problem.
How about now? Can you hear that?
Nope.
Okay.
Wake up early, pack the car, lake water's in my sight. Sun is high, beers on ice, water's gonna feel real nice. Windows down, radio up, singing our favorite songs. Pitch a tent, build a fire, a few miles, it won't be long. Then it's sun's out, guns out, there's a party going on right here. Making waves and catching rays, and drinking ice cold beer. Them cut off shorts and fresh tan lines, summer's here to stay. So it's sun's out, guns out, party on, let's play. Days of sun making waves, coolers out, the drinks are strong. Good friends.
I'm getting a little groove of something. It's pretty quiet.
Okay.
Making waves and catching rays, drinking ice cold beers. Them cut off shorts and fresh tan lines, summer's here to stay. If it's sun's out, guns out, party on, let's play. The night falls and cools off, I'll break out my guitar.
All right. Well,
Light the fire and grab a drink. Few hours, it won't be long till it's sun.
all right. Well, maybe for some reason I can't get that that audio to play here, so I'm gonna have to try to work on that and see why I can't get that that music playing here. Let me try this one more time here. Let's see. How about now?
Yeah, it's faint. It's there, but it's faint.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, and I will definitely put the links in the description as well, so that way people can kind of go back and listen to them. For some reason, I couldn't get the audio to play, but yeah, sun's out, fun's out. That's a cool one that you get out there. And then, yeah, what other music here? Let me get back to that other screen, and I'm going to show you the Spotify here. So I see, all right, so you got sun's out, guns
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
All right. And then you have
So-
Broken Angel.
Broken Angel, yep. Broken Angel, Crazy Girl, a lot of relationship songs. I think that's pretty typical in country music. Just people writing about where they're at in life, where they were in life, and making that do. And I think, Eddie, the coolest thing about these songs is putting them into the live show and making sure that people can relate to them. You can't go up there and tell a story every time about a song. People get tired of that pretty quick. So that's why really some songs have got to be fun. Some songs create moments, and those are important in your show, in your live show. And some just tell the story themselves. And those are like, take a song like I've got Grandpa and Dr. Pepper. That's just a story about my grandpa, from the moment of my childhood exposing me to country music to one of the very last pickup truck rides he ever took with me before he passed away. And those songs, it's got a catchy title because it's got Dr. Pepper in it. People can relate to that, but it's really a story about my life and its interaction with my grandpa. And so there's all sorts that you get, and that's an example of a song that you can hear that story in the lyrics, and it doesn't really need an explanation, and makes things a little easier for the audience when you do that. And really, I tell people that I'm a good singer, I'm a decent guitar player, but I was really born to entertain, and that's my natural skill. When I'm home, I'm an introvert. When I'm on stage, I'm an extrovert, and my goal is to just make sure that everybody that's there feels appreciated, and to make sure that they know they have some type of value in my life, in their life. And that can happen at the age of 6 months to all the way up to 95.
Sure.
That's my goal, and that's my job. My job is to entertain them and provide them with whatever they're seeking that night. Some people are just there because they are brokenhearted and they just went through a heartbreak, and that venue and that concert is all they have. Some people are there just to have a good time with their friends, and they don't really care who's on stage. They didn't come for the show. They came for the to shoot pool or things like that. And you got to suck your pride down and realize that not everyone is there in that crowd for you. But by the end of the night, you've established some type of relationship with them that they can relate to you and you can relate to them. And then you've got yourself a follower for life.
Yeah. And that's the power and the connection of the music, right? That again, people go for they go out there to a venue for for different reasons, but they make that connection with that song, those lyrics, that word, those few words, whatever it is. I found one on your Facebook page here. I'm going to see if we can play this and see if you get some audio now. Let's see here. Can you hear that, Jake?
I can't.
Okay. So it looks like there's a video that was posted on Facebook.
Yeah, and that's my new single, I See Jesus in a Bar. Yeah. Yeah. Took me a while to write that. I had the vision. Actually, I wrote just a Facebook post last year, and it was called "Bars Are Family," or something like that is how I titled it, and it went viral. I made posters up of it, and I didn't sell a single one.
Yeah.
But I didn't really advertise it very well. I was gonna put them on sale on Amazon, and I just never got around to it. But the post went viral, and I thought, okay, there's a song here. And so I thought, Bars Are Family. No, but what's the song really about? It's about relationships that we make in bars, and the importance and just the role of bars in a community. And so we took that, and I took me a couple of months to really get it where I wanted to make this message that I wanted. And then I thought I needed a catchy title. And, like Thomas Rhett had a song called A Beer with Jesus, and really got the point across. And so just came up with a title that worked, and then kind of built that around that. So it's been a really good song for us, and it's good because we get to highlight the venue that we go into, especially if they've been doing work for nonprofits or fundraisers. We make them a part of it, and it's been good.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So, and again, that's another one of my questions as we were talking about, kind of advice that you could give to other, to other musicians or people that are solo artists. And, part of the podcast, I'm bringing in solo artists, all genres, country, rock, we've kind of seen a mix. And as people are thinking about writing music or putting their thoughts down, right? What are a few words of inspirations that you could give, or a few words of your advice for
Well,
somebody who's thinking about writing some music?
Yep. So always keep your phone handy, or a notepad. If you've got you're driving down the road and a thought comes in your mind, you've got to write it down or put a voice memo down. Or if you hear, in your head, you hear a lick that you like, or a chorus, you're like, but you've got to put it down because you will forget it. But you can always go back. And my kid, my son is 23 now, and he's still got my old notebooks from 15 years ago, where I was just starting to write music and put things down. And every now and then I'll still pull it up, and look. So that's the biggest thing I can tell people is even if you don't finish a song, if you get a hook or you get an idea, write it down. Put a voice memo down somewhere, send yourself a voicemail, whatever, or an email, whatever it is, but document it so that you've got it for the future. Because like this song, it took me a couple months to finish it just because I couldn't quite get a good direction of where I wanted it to go. And then one day it finally hit, and then it maxed. We've written songs. I'm sure you've been the same. You could sit down and in 15 minutes, it's done. Like everything is ready to go to the studio. And then you've got a couple songs where something just doesn't feel right.
You're like, yeah, it needs some work. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you sit on it for a while, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Sure. Yeah. Sometimes we're our worst own critics sometimes, that we're thinking about, we're going back and we're listening, like, not this. And that's so true, so true. But no, that's some great advice, is to, anytime that you're, and a lot of these songs you think about, a lot of songs that artists write are about life and how things are happening, or when you're in the moment, right? So if you capture it down, and because if you don't, then you get busy and you move on to something else. You're like, wait, I had that idea. Where is it at?
Where's it at?
So yeah, you'd be surprised that some of the greatest artists out there have done that. I was watching a video, I can't remember exactly, but Cody Jinks is one of my favorite country singers, and he was talking about Loud Thunder, Heavy Rain, that he wrote that song when him and his son were driving through a storm,
Yeah.
and he came up with the lyrics and put that song together,
Yeah.
But that reminds me of exactly that point that you're talking about, is like, hey, make a note about it, and that way you can go back and start putting it together, and again, it's not a challenge. If it takes you 5 minutes to write it, or 10 minutes, great. If it takes you 10 days, great. Maybe it takes you longer, to fine tune it and get it exactly what you're thinking. But again, the creativity is there, right? And sometimes with just, the things that we go through in life can write a lot of songs,
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. Well, and then don't let me forget, I also want to talk a little bit about your upcoming gigs. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of my sponsors. And I'm really excited to be talking about these next couple of sponsors. So the very first one, Event and Airport Transportation LLC. I got a short little video that I'm going to play here. This is one of my big sponsors, Ernesto, and he's a big fan of the local vibe and a huge sponsor. So let me play a quick video there, and I'll talk a little bit about his company. All right. So Event and Airport Transportation LLC, they're based out of Denver, Colorado. 720-699-1575. I mean, check out his vehicles. He's got some really nice vehicles. He's got a van, he's got an Audi, some SUVs, some really nice vehicles that he uses around the Denver metro area. And so I tell you what, you're going to give him a call. You tell him that Fast Eddie sent him Events to Airport Transportation. He's going to hook you up. He's going to take you to your destination. Maybe that's Red Rocks, or maybe that you're trying to get up to the ski resorts. And sometimes throughout the year, driving up to the mountains could be a little hectic. So you give him a call. He'll take you up there to your destination. You go do your skiing and then bring you back safely. He also does Red Rocks. Red Rocks is another cool one. And he does tailgating at Red Rocks. He'll take you up there. You can watch your concert safely, bring you back. Definitely reach out to Ernesto at Event and Airport Transportation, 720-699-1575. And then also www.limo.limo. And you can reach him and tell him that Fast Eddie sent you. Yeah. All right. And
Well, at
then
least
one
we know
other.
who's picking us up at the airport next time. Yeah.
That's right, right? Yeah, we got to give him a call, man. Yeah. Yeah,
We
definitely take
could have
his
used that a couple of years ago. We flew up to we flew direct from Denver to Anchorage, and so
Oh,
we
okay.
drove into Denver, and yeah, we stayed the night in there. Could have used that shuttle.
Yeah, man. I
Absolutely.
tell you what. Yeah, make sure you take that number down and give him a call and get him. Get yourself hooked up. He does a lot of transportation there.
My
The
favorite
other,
word. Put
yeah,
it on Eddie's account.
there you go. Put it on Fast Eddie's. Very cool. Yeah, another great sponsor I want to talk about, K4CO Radio, and boy, oh boy, I tell you what, I was spending some time taking a look at their website, and they have some really cool stuff going on. They are a local radio station here in the Centennial, Colorado area, and a great mix of rock, alternative blues, country music, mellow hard rock, punk, soul, funk metal, comedians, interviews. I mean, just live performances, and catered to local businesses and nonprofits. So, doing a really, really good thing. The local vibe is all about supporting local music, supporting local artists and businesses at that, right? So, K4CO Radio, we're going to be doing some great things together, but I definitely want to send a shout out to those guys. And when you get a chance, you got to go check it out at www.k4coradio.com and check out. You can tune straight into to the music right off of the website. So definitely some good stuff going on there too. So,
Yeah,
all
no,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah. So Jake, also, I wanted to give you some time to talk a little bit about some upcoming gigs. I know you said you're busy and you're on the road, and people now know that they can find your music on Spotify. We can go to Apple Music and all the digital platforms. But tell us a little bit about your next gigs. What gigs do you have coming up?
Yep. So we next 5-6 weeks, we're going to be in 5 different states. We're in Kansas and Oklahoma this week. Enid, Oklahoma on Friday the 16th, 17th, Garden Plain, Kansas, and then we take a little run out to the St. Louis area. So we'll be in southeastern Missouri, Cape Girardeau, and a little town called Paxico, and
Okay.
then all the way out in Illinois there, Centralia, and one other town in Illinois, and then we're gonna truck it back across the Midwest. We're gonna be in Colorado at Rocky Ford. They've got a new venue down there called Highway 50 Bar and Grill. We're going to be down there for Galentine's Day. I never even.
Galentine's.
I think I've heard of it, but apparently it's a thing and it markets well. So we're going to do a ladies' night. It's not ladies only, but it's going to be a ladies' night show on the 13th there in Rocky Ford, and their tickets are for sale. And I'm going to push that a little bit for them because they are a new venue, and they're really supporting live music, and so we're excited for that. And then we've got Valentine's Day or Valentine's Night in a little town called Park, Kansas, Buffalo Park Station. They do a tremendous package of meal and dance through that. So really, yeah, that's another way that I use social media is pretty much to put my schedule out there so people can find it, and that's been the best for me as it goes that way. So I like makes it easy to get in people's hands.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so tell me a little bit more. You said the one that's in Colorado. What part of Colorado is that? Is that southern, like in the Springs area,
Yep.
or
So
is
I
it?
think about 2.5 hours south of Denver is what it looks
Oh,
like on
okay,
the Rocky Ford. Rocky
okay.
Ford. right on US Highway 50.
Okay.
So yep.
All
Yep.
right.
So
Very cool.
that's our one. And we've played some nice venues in Denver before. I think everybody's been to the Wild Goose Saloon. They're in Parker. Such a great place.
Oh, that's such a great venue, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he just, he made a good investment. It's paid off really well for him. They bring such a wide variety of acts. Also, a venue that gives back in their communities. They bring the School of Rock in, which is fantastic. And I love watching those live streams when they happen. So that's good. I saw that your group's going to be there sometime coming up. And,
Yeah, next week.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
next
cool
week.
as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome, Jake. Yeah, we're going to be out there. The Local Vibe is going to be shooting a live podcast in the Wild Goose in Parker there, actually next Thursday, January 22nd. So, we always go live at 7 o'clock p.m. So we'll be there early, setting up, talking to people, enjoying the night. Such a great venue. I mean, premier venue in Denver, Colorado, right? Just a premier spot. And we're actually going to be interviewing the owner and his wife. They're both musicians as well. So definitely look forward to that. And if you're in the area, come on out, enjoy some great food, some great drinks. They always have specials going on. And we're going to be spending some time there. And this will be a live podcast at the Wild Goose Saloon. So yeah. Awesome, man. And then after that, Thursday, January 29th, I have Trevor Jones Band, also another local artist, solo artist, musician band, and then works on some originals. He's going to be coming into the studio on the 29th, and we'll be doing an interview with Trevor Jones as well. So, all right, awesome. Okay, well, Jake, is there anything else that you would like to cover? I know we talked a little bit about your music. We talked a little bit about, some of those songs, and again, people can go and find all your music up on Spotify. I'm also going to put some descriptions in the YouTube description box so you can go and find some music. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't had a chance, go check it out. Some really cool music, country artist right here, Jake Gill. But Jake, anything else that you would like to cover?
Yeah, no, I just the opportunity to talk about songwriting and live music and performance is always good for anyone. And you mentioned it earlier, just to encourage people, just get started, start doing something, and learn the business side of it. We've all learned our hard lessons of empty promises and broken contracts and man, take care of yourself. But if I had to give one big advice to people, it's just to listen. Take time and listen to people. Sometimes you're going to hear the crappiest advice in the world, but sometimes, and sometimes all it takes is that one time. You just listen to hear somebody and you'll think, I wonder if there's something to that. And you try it, you dab in it a little bit, and then it just blows up in it. And that's happened to me more than once, and it's life-changing. I mean, it is life-changing. Sure. And so that would encourage you to get out there, but listen. Let's just listen to people, even if they I've made more money from a guy who liked to talk about himself, and he just said one thing that clicked for me, and it worked, and I was just like, man, okay. Thank you for putting me in the right place at the right time to hear a guy that I didn't even necessarily like being around. But, you get that advice. So put yourself out there, be in the right spot, be in different spots, and don't take it as the Bible. Test it, see if it works. If it does, great. Don't just jump in head first and throw your money into whatever, a record label that's not really a record label, or radio promotion, which, Lord's sake, you could just go on social media and put your music out for free. You don't need a radio promoter anymore. Do people still listen to radio? Sure. And can you pay for Spotify placement? Sure. But it's short-lived. It doesn't last long, and it's sure not worth the money. Sure. So, man, just get your music out there. Just put your face in front of people, even if it's an ugly face. Yeah. Get it in front of people, because if your music's with it, they don't care. And that's the cool thing about music. There is no face to music,
sure,
because you listen to it, you don't watch it.
Sure.
And that's the cool thing. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And Jake, I was just looking at some of the comments. We actually had a comment come in, and somebody commented on there. Aside of music, is there any other interests that you have? Any other hobbies that you do besides music? And then that's
Well, so that's a funny question because if I would have discovered golf at the age of 12, I would not be in music at all. I would
okay.
be a professional golfer because yeah, no, I was convinced just a year ago that I was going to go qualify for the Corn Ferry Tour, and then you say that, and then the very next week you're shooting 10 over again, you know, and you're like, so yeah, golf is huge, and funny that you mentioned that. I haven't swung a golf club in 2 months because I got a brand new horse, and so I've got a
Ah,
3-year-old. I've got a 3-year-old that I'm working and just bonding with and spending time with. And the weather has
nice.
been amazing in December this year in Kansas. I've gotten a chance to work with him in a time of year where we usually don't get a chance to work with our horses at all.
Sure.
So yeah,
Yeah,
big into that.
awesome. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing, right? We were talking about that earlier that we've been pretty spoiled this winter, because we really haven't had much. And I think a lot of the US is kind of the same way, right? Where there's not much winter going on right
We're
now.
probably
So,
going to get it, and when we do,
oh, I
it's
know
probably
it.
like you said, it's going to be 24 inches of snow.
That's
But the
right.
cool thing about Denver is you guys can get snow, and in 2 days it's gone. So
Yeah, yeah, that's just absolutely right, man. We can get dumped on, and then the sun comes out and melts it. It's such a beautiful place, and then it's like nothing ever happened. It's really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But all right, man. No, that's definitely some great advice, and I certainly appreciate you coming on the show as well, and giving us kind of your insight. I mean, I think definitely you've done some great things, and hopefully I can get to check you out there when you come into Colorado. I'll take a look at your Facebook page and put that date down on my calendar, and
Oh, that'd be cool. Be
yeah,
cool.
and maybe come out and we can do some more filming when we're there, and I can kind of hear you play as well. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. The venue would love to have you. I'm sure of that, and we'll take advantage of your limo service. I'm excited about that.
That's
Next time we
right, huh?
fly out of Denver, that'd be great because Denver's a great airport, man. They fly everywhere in the country, so that makes it pretty handy.
Yeah, yeah. Again, events and airport transportation, LLC, 720-699-1575. Limo. Tell Ernesto that Fast Eddie sent you, and he'll get you safely to your destination. And also want to thank K4CO Radio. Looking forward to working with those guys here up and coming with the Local Vibe podcast as well. And yeah, so no, I appreciate it, Jake, for sure. And thank you much. Thank you very much for being on the show. And yeah, we'll be seeing you. And like I said, when you swing by Colorado, you definitely got to come by and check out the studio. I'd love to have you back, and we'll continue on. And maybe we can do some live performances as well. We'll play a couple,
Oh, that'd be cool.
of
Yeah,
tunes with some guitars. So, all right, man. Well, let's wave at the
totally.
audience. And again, thank you very much, all you for liking and subscribing, supporting the channel, supporting the local vibe. We appreciate it, and we will see you guys next week at the Wild Goose. All right,
Yes. Thanks,
all
Eddie.
right, Jake. Thank you very much.
You bet.